Good morning, Nova Scotia. I'm Dan Budgell, and this is your Lighthouse Local for Friday, August the 21st. We've made it to Friday, and we're starting this morning with an update for anyone visiting a hospital or a healthcare facility. Nova Scotia Health posted an update Thursday regarding masking requirements at its facilities. It's worth checking the requirements for the facility you're visiting before heading through the doors, particularly if you have an appointment or you're visiting someone in the hospital. Masking policies within healthcare can change as respiratory illness activity changes, and individual circumstances can sometimes require additional precaution. We'll keep an eye on any further changes from Nova Scotia Health as we move towards the fall respiratory season. Now to housing. Some new numbers released Thursday show that Halifax resale home prices moved higher in July. According to provincial economic data, based on the Terranet National Bank House Price Index, Halifax prices increased 0.93% between June and July. That was the fastest monthly increase among the 11 Canadian cities that are measured by the index. But if you zoom out a little bit, the picture changes. Compared with July of last year, Halifax resale home prices were actually down slightly, about 2%. So, while buyers and sellers did see some upward movement during the month of July, the year-over-year numbers suggest that the market remains relatively close to where it was about a year ago. For anyone looking or trying to buy their first home, move into something larger, or simply figure out what their current home might be worth, these numbers are definitely worth watching. And now, a story from the Annapolis Valley that we thought deserved a little attention this morning. 3 nurses from Valley Regional Hospital in Kentville are being recognized after an unexpected medical emergency followed them thousands of feet into the air. The nurses were traveling together on a flight from Halifax to Toronto when about 15 minutes after takeoff, a passenger lost consciousness. When the call went out asking whether there were medical professionals on board, the 3 nurses stepped forward to help. Nova Scotia Health shared their story this week. It's a pretty good reminder that for nurses, paramedics, firefighters, and plenty of other people trained to respond in an emergency, being off the clock doesn't necessarily mean those instincts disappear. And for one passenger on that flight, having 3 Valley nurses sitting nearby turned out to be a very fortunate coincidence. Now, if you're wondering what to do with your Friday night or the weekend, Nova Scotia certainly isn't shutting down just because we're getting into the second half of August. In Hubbard's, there's a very Nova Scotia lineup taking over the Shore Club this weekend. Matt Mays, Joe Plaskett Emergency, and Tara Lightfoot are performing as part of the annual summer shows running through Saturday. And across the province, this is one of those weekends where community calendars are stacked. Agricultural exhibitions are continuing in several communities. Summer festivals are still underway, and plenty of communities are trying to squeeze every last drop out of August before September arrives. If your community has something happening this weekend that we should know about, send it to Lighthouse Radio. If it's a fundraiser, a community breakfast, a concert, sports tournament, or volunteer project, whatever it might be. One of the things we want Lighthouse Radio to do is make sure a good local story doesn't need to happen in downtown Halifax to get some attention. Now to sports. It's going to be a very busy soccer weekend in Halifax. The Halifax Wanderers back at the Wanderers grounds Saturday as Vancouver FC comes to town. For the Wanderers, another home date means another opportunity to pick up important points as the Canadian Premier League season moves through its second half. And the Halifax Tides are home as well, with AFC Toronto coming to Wanderers grounds as the Northern Super League season continues. The Tides enter this stretch of the schedule sitting in the middle of a competitive league table, so the remaining home dates become increasingly important as the season moves towards its later stages. We'll keep you updated on both clubs throughout the weekend. And now, let's get into a proper look at your Friday weather. Around Halifax, we're starting in the morning near 18 degrees with some light rain. Conditions should improve somewhat throughout the day, with partial sunshine developing, although we're not completely finished with the wet weather yet. There could be a couple of showers this afternoon. Despite that, it is still going to be warm. The Halifax high should reach about 27 degrees before temperatures drop considerably tonight, reaching about 14. For the rest of mainland Nova Scotia, expect another day where local conditions can vary quite a bit, particularly between inland communities and places right along the coast. The Annapolis Valley should once again be among the warmer areas. Around Truro and central Nova Scotia, expect a warm August day as well, while communities along the Atlantic coastline can stay cooler when the wind comes off the water. Moving east through Antigonish and towards Cape Breton, keep an eye on local conditions if you're traveling today, and down through Yarmouth and southwestern Nova Scotia, coastal influence will again play a role in temperatures. Now the weekend. Saturday currently looks like the best day for outdoor plans around Halifax. We should get some sunshine before clouds increase with a high around 23. Saturday night drops to around 16, and then Sunday changes things. We're looking at more humid conditions and periods of rain and a high around 23. So if you've been staring at the lawn for 4 days thinking I'll deal with that in the weekend, Saturday may be trying to tell you something. Sunday looks considerably better suited to coffee and pretending the rain has made the decision for you. Before we go this morning, remember that Lighthouse Radio is built around local voices and local stories. If something is happening in your part of Nova Scotia that deserves some attention, please let us know. And wherever your Friday or your weekend takes you, Lighthouse Radio can come along. The Lighthouse Radio app is available on iOS, Android, and all Alexa connected devices. Lighthouse Local is proudly sponsored by Sackville Driving School, the road to your driving success. I'm Dan Budgell. Have a great Friday and a great start to your weekend, Nova Scotia. This is the Lighthouse Local on Lighthouse Radio.